In this video, I'll be sharing the story of a Norwegian monster film called Troll 2, which was released on December 1, 2025. The story begins with a young girl named Nora lying in bed as her father tells her an old Norwegian folktale. He speaks of trolls, which were creatures born from earth and stone, rising from deep beneath the ground. Long ago, trolls and humans lived together in peace, sharing the land without conflict. But everything changed when a new religion spread across Europe. In Norway, a young king named Olaf was given the mission of converting the land to Christianity. Under this new belief, there was no room for ancient myths or old creatures. King Olaf forced the trolls out of the forests and shadows and drove them into the open sunlight because when sunlight hit, their bodies turned to stone. One by one, the trolls were hunted down and wiped out without mercy. Not a single one was spared, and soon, the age of trolls came to an end. As the tale ends, Nora's mother enters the room. She gently sings her daughter to sleep with a soft lullaby, which was an ancient song once used by troll mothers to calm their children. 30 years later, in the middle of a frozen mountain range, a mysterious man enters a lonely house. Suddenly, Nora attacked him from behind. The man quickly removes his mask, revealing himself to be Andreas, who is an old friend of Nora. Nora asked why he came here. Andreas explains that he is now working for the government and that they need her help. He assures her that she will be interested in what they've discovered. They board a helicopter and travel to a hidden underground power station. There, Nora meets Professor Moller and Wangel, who lead her deep into the facility. They reveal a secret massive ancient creature known as a troll. This one has been named as the Mega Troll. Nora stares in silence, carefully studying the enormous being. Professor Moller explains that the troll is currently in hibernation. As a precaution, powerful UV lights are aimed directly at it because no weapon can kill a troll, and only ultraviolet light can turn it into stone. Soon, the head of the operation, Professor Marion, arrives. She wants Nora to join their research team and suggests that studying a living troll could change everything. Professor Moller adds that the creature shows signs of a pulse, and its anatomy is unlike anything they've ever seen. Nora says that trolls are simply nature. Then she turns to leave, but Andreas stops her. He takes her upstairs to show her something else. There, Nora meets Sigrid, a pregnant woman working at the facility. Andreas reveals that Sigrid is his wife. He then invites Nora to explore the room around them. The room is filled with ancient books and forgotten texts, all focused on troll history. Among them lies the most important document of all, known as the Olaf the Holy Troll Law. Unfortunately, half of it is missing. As Nora reads the script, it says that all trolls must be banished from the land forever. Others suggest that trolls may still exist across Norway, hidden and waiting. To protect humanity, they must study and understand more about trolls to face them in the future. Andreas explains that despite having endless resources, their research has reached a dead end. Without progress, the authorities will shut the project down. That's why they need someone like Nora who truly understands trolls. Hearing that, Nora excuses herself, saying she needs to use the washroom. But instead she quietly slips into a restricted area of the facility where the Mega Troll is being kept. She steps into an elevator and walks toward the Mega Troll. She reaches out and gently touches its face. Then, in a soft voice, Nora begins to sing the lullaby that her mother once sang to her when she was a child. She hopes the lullaby song will awaken the creature. At first, nothing happens. Believing it hasn't worked, she turns to leave. Suddenly, the Mega Troll's eyes snap open. Nora freezes and then smiles in disbelief after seeing the troll alive. Back in the control room, a security guard notices unusual movement on the monitors where the troll's heartbeat is rising rapidly. Professor Moller and others rush in as the Mega Troll wakes up. He immediately orders the security guard to keep the UV lights ready. As the security guard reaches for the button to activate the UV light, Marion insists that the Mega Troll must remain alive for further study. But the situation got out of control when the Mega Troll started breaking its chains. Realizing the danger, Professor Moller told the security guard to activate the UV lights. At that moment, Marion knocks over a cup of coffee. The coffee spills onto the control panel, short-circuiting the system and resulting in failure to activate the UV light. Andreas yells at Nora to get out immediately. She runs toward the elevator and begins descending to the ground. Meanwhile, the Mega Troll breaks free, and its massive arm strikes the elevator, sending it crashing to the ground below. Nora is thrown onto the floor, but fortunately, she survives without serious injury. Chaos erupts as everyone runs for their lives. Andreas rushes to help Nora. Meanwhile, Professor Muller, who is hiding nearby, notices a test rock piece from an ancient troll lying on the floor. He quickly grabs it before escaping. The mega troll advances through the facility and crushes Professor Wangel with its enormous foot. The group flees the underground station and reaches the surface. There they see the mega troll emerging from the underground facility. Without hesitation, the creature heads toward the mountain forest, disappearing into the wilderness. Later, the group arrives at a military base, where they meet Chris, who is a major in the army. They went to a place to have a meeting with the Prime Minister and official. They reach a secured place for the meeting. After some time, the Prime Minister of Norway enters the room along with top generals. He says that the troll project is too dangerous to continue and needs to stop immediately. Then he orders Major Chris to eliminate the mega troll immediately. After the meeting, Nora sits quietly, holding a stone piece in her hand. Andreas approaches and asks her about the stone piece. She explains that she got this stone piece from a troll that once turned to stone. Moments later, they enter the operations room, where Chris is briefing his soldiers. Nora pleads with Chris to let her join the mission. After some hesitation, he agrees. Marion also steps forward and asks to come along with them. Chris allows her to join as well. Then, 2 military helicopters, specially modified with powerful UV light weapons, are deployed to track the mega troll. Meanwhile, at a mountain ski resort, a party is in full swing. Many people are laughing and celebrating at the party. Suddenly the ground begins to shake. They are all confused when the mega troll rips the roof off the house. At first, some people try to record it on their phones. But they start running when the creature reaches down toward them. Then the mega troll grabs some of them and puts them in his mouth. The helicopters arrive just in time. Nora watches in shock as she realizes the mega troll is eating humans. They activate the UV lights and strike the creature. The UV light makes some damage to the body of mega troll. They attack again and burn its body with the UV light. The mega troll gets angry and tears an electric pole from the ground and hurls it towards the helicopter. The pole smashes into one of the helicopters, sending it spiraling out of control. As it crashes, it collides with one of the UV lights of Chris's helicopter. The damaged helicopter spirals out of control and crashes into the ground. Chris got angry about the loss of his friend. With one of the UV systems on the helicopter getting destroyed, he knows they can no longer fight the mega troll. Then the creature slowly turns away and walks into the mountains. At the crash site, Chris stands in silence, grieving the death of his friend. Nora pointed out that something is wrong with the mega troll, because this troll is far more aggressive than the ones described in ancient records. The trolls of the past were never known to hunt humans. The next morning, Nora leads the team to the Dover Mountain Tunnel, the place where the first troll was discovered. She guides them through a hidden passage deep inside the tunnel. Inside they see massive spikes that are carved with strange religious symbols. Nora explains that this place was once known as a haunting pit. According to legend, King Olaf kidnapped the Troll King's child and used this pit to trap the Troll King. The spikes were designed to hurt and weaken trolls. Then, Nora removes the stone piece that she's been carrying and strikes it against the ground. The sound of the striking echoes inside the mountain. Moments later, a troll slowly emerges from the darkness. Everyone freezes in shock. Nora approaches carefully and places her hand on the creature. She begins singing the familiar lullaby. Hearing the song, the troll feels relaxed and responds calmly to the sound. She asks Andreas to join her, and as he sings the lullaby, the creature becomes happy again. Nora realizes the truth that this is the Troll King's child. She names him as the baby troll. She told the baby troll that they need his help. Meanwhile, deep in the icy mountains, the mega troll is walking. Nora steps forward and fires a flare into the sky, catching the creature's attention. From a safe distance, the others watch in silence. The mega troll approaches, and suddenly, the baby troll comes out from beneath the ice. The two creatures roar at one another. The mega troll slams its massive foot into the ground, causing the ice to crack violently. So the group headed toward the helicopter. Nora also runs and escapes from the crack. She turns back just in time to see the baby troll falling through the broken ice into the freezing water below. Chris grabs Nora and pulls her away as the mega troll charges after them. They manage to board the helicopter and lift off before the creature reaches them. As they fly away, Nora sadly watches the icy waters below, believing the baby troll has drowned. The group later lands at an air ambulance base to refuel. They bring out a map and notice that the mega troll is following an ancient pilgrimage route. Nora realizes its destination is the city of Trondheim. She explains that Trondheim was once Norway's capital, ruled by King Olaf himself. The mega troll is going there to get revenge and destroy the city. After that, they immediately head for Trondheim city. Upon arrival, they meet an elderly woman named Esther, who has spent years searching for King Olaf's missing tomb. She leads them to the Nidaros Cathedral Church, the very place from which King Olaf once ruled Norway. Inside the church, Esther guides them into an underground tunnel. On the walls of the tunnel, they find some marked with the same symbols found earlier in the Dover Mountain tunnel. Following the symbols, they reach a final room filled with old paintings of King Olaf. Esther explains that despite years of searching, no tomb was ever found. She wonders why there is a painting of King Olaf in this room. As Andreas examines the painting, a small piece of the wall comes out. When he tries to fix it, Esther steps closer and says that these holes in the painting are the exact injuries on King Olaf's body before his death. That is, one in the thigh, another in the stomach, and the final one at the neck. Nora notices something unusual and realizes the painting itself is hiding something. She takes an old torch and carefully places it into one of the holes in the wall. The others follow, inserting 2 more torches into the remaining holes. Together, Nora and Andreas push them inward. Suddenly, the wall begins to rotate. A hidden circular door slowly opens, revealing a secret chamber beyond. Inside, they see a stone tomb surrounded by flowing water. Esther explains that this sacred spring water is known as Olaf's water. They open the tomb, and inside lies the preserved body of King Olaf of Norway, with a silver sword placed across his chest. As Nora examines the tomb, she discovers a piece of paper. Carefully, she removes it. It's the missing half of the Olaf the Holy Troll Law. Andreas immediately contacts his wife Sigrid. She scans the document, digitally merges it with the existing half from the research facility, and sends the completed text back to them. Nora begins to read, and the truth is finally revealed. It is mentioned in the Olaf the Holy Troll Law that King Olaf never ordered the trolls to be banished. Instead, it states that trolls must not be expelled from the land. Because of the suffering inflicted upon them, King Olaf intended to grant the trolls a homeland called Jotunheim. But the church people were angered by Olaf's choice, that is giving land to trolls. So they murdered him and secretly hid his tomb beneath the church. After his death, they continued the massacre of the trolls, erasing the truth from history. Now, Nora realizes that the mega troll isn't just rampaging blindly. It is coming for revenge. Its true target is the church and the city built around it. Across the country, footage of the mega troll's attacks floods social media. Panic spreads as the creature moves steadily toward Trondheim. The Norwegian Prime Minister appears before the media and announces the immediate evacuation of the city. When reporters ask what will be done after that, the Prime Minister responds, saying they will inform them later, and he left the meeting. Meanwhile, the military general informs Major Chris that all defensive lines have already fallen. In just 2 hours, the mega troll will reach the city of Trondheim. So, he ordered Chris to leave the city. But Nora refused, saying they can't leave. Chris also agrees and says they must stop the mega troll. So they all agree to stay there and stop the mega troll. Marion asks how King Olaf defeated the trolls long ago. Nora explains that King Olaf might have used his silver sword to defeat the trolls. But others respond there must have been some magic infused, as silver as a weapon is not powerful enough to kill trolls. Nora takes out her knife and dips it into the holy water. She then used the knife to cut the stone piece that she took from a troll, and the knife sliced through it easily. But there's a problem because there isn't enough holy water inside the church. Esther reveals that the holy water is actually the Olaf's water found around King Olaf's tomb. But if they want to stop the mega troll, they'll need to collect the water from the underground. Meanwhile, the city is evacuating its people. Chris and Marion walk there and tell them there is a way to stop the mega troll and save their city. Hearing that, everyone agrees to help. Together, civilians and soldiers begin transporting Olaf's water from the underground tunnel in barrels. The military loads it into ammunition, coats explosives with it, and prepares everything for battle. As night falls, everyone takes their positions. Andreas and Esther climb to the top of the church, where the massive church bells hang. Their job is simply to ring the bell when the mega troll comes there. Then, the ground begins to tremble. Finally, the mega troll has arrived. Chris gives the signal to Andreas to ring the church bell. They pull the rope, and the sound of the church bells echoes across the city. The troll closed its ears and screamed in pain after hearing the sound of the church bell ringing. The military fired grenade launchers and heavy explosives soaked in holy water. Each impact burns the body of the creature, dealing massive damage. But all the firepower fails to stop the mega troll. It rips a tree from the ground and throws it toward the church, aiming for the tower where the bells are ringing. The massive tree crashes on top of the church, causing part of the building to collapse. Fortunately, Andreas and Esther manage to escape just in time. Despite the relentless firepower from the military, the mega troll refuses to be defeated. It continues to walk toward the church. Realizing they're running out of options, Chris orders his men to retreat. As the creature advances, he detonates all the barrels containing the holy water. The explosion splashes the holy water across the mega troll's body, burning its skin. For a moment, they think it's working, but soon the flame gets extinguished. The mega troll continues walking towards them, and they all run away from there. Just as hope begins to vanish, a powerful roar echoes through the battlefield. The mega troll turns around and sees the baby troll charging toward him. Against all odds, the baby troll has returned to protect the humans. Then they run at each other, and the fight starts. The mega troll is far stronger, and he starts striking the baby troll again and again. Seeing this, Nora grabs a grenade launcher and tries to help the baby troll. Chris says their weapons are useless against trolls. Marion says mega troll's weakness is not its external body, and its vital organs inside the body are vulnerable. The holy water must be detonated inside its body. Andreas comes up with a desperate plan. He told them they need to fly above the mega troll and drop the holy water barrel directly into its mouth. Chris says there's only one water barrel left. He grabs it and runs toward the helicopter. But Nora stays behind to help the baby troll, who is getting hit by the mega troll. Andreas calls for Chris, as he needs a pilot to fly the helicopter. Nora desperately fires the grenade launcher at the mega troll as he begins drowning the baby troll. Marion also grabs a grenade launcher, and they both fire at the mega troll. Chris starts the helicopter and flies near the mega troll. As they maneuver above the creature, the holy water barrel nearly slips, but Andreas grabs it at the last second. However, the detonator device falls to the ground, and it got crash. Chris says without the detonator device, they can't blast the explosive device attached to the water barrel. It can only be detonated manually, such as by taking a grenade with it. Andreas says that someone has to jump with explosives into the mouth of the mega troll. Meanwhile, Nora and Marion are trying hard to stop the mega troll, but the mega troll is drowning the baby troll. After defeating the baby troll, the mega troll starts charging toward Nora and Marion. Marion runs away from there and asks Nora to fall back, but she refuses and continues to fire. Seeing this, Andreas says they must stop the mega troll. He calls his wife Sigrid and says one last goodbye to her. Chris says they are in the position above. The mega troll opens its mouth and roars at the helicopter. Clutching the holy water barrel and a grenade, Andreas jumps straight into the mega troll's open mouth. The creature swallows him whole along with the water barrel. Soon a violent explosion rips through the mega troll from the inside. Holy water floods its body and burns its body from inside. At that time, the baby troll rises and pulls out the mega troll heart from its body. Finally, the mega troll falls dead. Although everyone is crying because of Andreas's sacrifice. Many days have passed, and the church is also being rebuilt. Life in the city of Trondheim slowly returns to normal. Nora, Chris, and Marion spend time with Sigrid and her newborn child. The baby troll now lived peacefully among the human. In the post-credits scene, Professor Moeller is speaking quietly with a military general. He says that the test rock piece that he stole from the research facility has developed. Inside a glass container, there is a tiny baby troll, and with this, the movie comes to an end.